Picture two men, same age, same clothes, same height, same background, walking into the same room at the same time. One of them walks in and something happens. Heads turn, a conversation pauses mid-sentence. The energy in the room shifts, not dramatically, not obviously, but it shifts. People feel it even if they cannot name it. The other man walks in and nothing changes. Absolutely nothing. Nobody is rude to him. Nobody ignores him deliberately. He is greeted. He is present. He is there. But he is not felt, not registered, not remembered when he leaves. The difference between those two men is not what they were born with. It is what one of them built. Today, I am going to show you exactly what he built and exactly how you build it too. The bridge. Everything we have built in this playlist so far has lived on the inside. The identity, the standard, the truths, the vision of who you are becoming. All of it internal, all of it invisible to the world. But here is what I need you to understand. The world does not experience your inside. It experiences your outside, your appearance, your movement, your voice, the way you carry yourself through a room, the energy you bring before you say a single word. And the most important thing, the outside is not separate from the inside. It is the inside expressed. A man who has done the internal work and still presents himself poorly is not showing the world who he is. He is hiding it. Behind clothes that do not fit. Behind posture that apologizes for taking up space. Behind a voice that rushes through its own sentences like it's afraid of being heard. Today we change that. From invisible to unforgettable is not a dramatic overnight transformation. It is 5 layers, each one small on its own, each one compounding into something the world cannot ignore. We cover all of them today. Every layer of how that guy shows up in the world. Let's build. The foundation, grooming and physical investment. This is where it starts. Not because appearance is everything, but because how you present yourself is the very first message you send, and you are sending it whether you are thinking about it or not. That guy is not the most expensive man in the room. He is the most intentional man in the room, and there is a significant difference. His skin is clean and cared for. His hair is maintained, not necessarily styled elaborately, but maintained. His clothes fit. Not designer, not expensive, but they fit. And fit alone separates a man who looks put together from a man who got dressed in the dark. He has a signature scent. This one is underestimated by almost every man who has not figured it out yet. Scent is the most powerful memory trigger available to you. Long after people forget what you said, they remember how you made them feel. And a man who smells intentional is a man who is remembered. His nails are clean, his teeth are maintained. The details, the one nobody explicitly notices when they are right, are the first things everyone notices when they are wrong. This layer costs very little money. It costs time, attention, and a daily standard. That is all, and it communicates volumes. The structure, posture, movement, and physical presence. Before you have opened your mouth, your body has been speaking for 30 seconds. The man who walks into a room with his shoulders collapsed forward, his eyes down, his steps small and apologetic, that man has already introduced himself, and the introduction wasn't a confident one. That guy walks differently, not arrogantly, not performatively, differently in a way that is hard to describe but impossible to miss. He is unhurried. The man who is rushing everywhere looks like he is chasing something, like life is slightly ahead of him and he cannot catch up. That guy is not chasing anything. He moves at his own pace because he is the one setting it. His posture takes up the space he is entitled to, not aggressively, but fully. Shoulders back, spine long, head level. He does not shrink in the room to make others comfortable. He occupies his space completely and quietly, and his stillness, His stillness is one of the most commanding things about him. Most men fidget. They check their phones. They shift their weight. They fill every silence with movement because silence makes them uncomfortable. That guy is still, and that stillness reads as power in every environment you put it in. The signal, eye contact, expression, and non-verbal communication. The face communicates before the mouth does, always, in every room, in every interaction. Before you have said a single word, your expression, your eyes, your resting energy have already told everyone in the vicinity what kind of man they are dealing with. That guy holds eye contact, not in an aggressive way, not a stare, not a challenge, warm, direct, unafraid, the kind of eye contact that says, I see you, I am here, I am not looking for an exit. Most men look away too quickly. They drop their gaze when someone holds theirs, not out of respect, but out of discomfort. And people feel that discomfort as uncertainty, as a lack of confidence, as a man who is not fully present in his own skin. His resting expression is calm and open, not performing happiness, not forcing seriousness, just calm. The face of a man who is not at war with himself. And people feel that peace from across a room even when they cannot explain why they feel drawn to him. And when someone speaks to him, he listens completely without reaching for his phone, without formulating his response while the other person is still talking. He is fully there. And being fully listened to by a man with real presence is one of the rarest experiences a person can have. It makes you unforgettable before you have said a word in return. The voice, how that guy speaks in the room. Not what he says, how he says it. The voice is an instrument, and like any instrument, it communicates far more than the notes it plays. It communicates the player. That guy speaks slowly, deliberately, at a pace that signals he is not afraid of the room leaving before he finishes. He trusts that what he has to say is worth waiting for, and because he trusts it, the room trusts it too. He does not fill his sentences with and like and you know what I mean. The verbal equivalent of a man who is not sure he has earned the right to be speaking. He says what he means. He says it once and then he stops. He pauses before answering. Not because he is slow, but because he is conceited. The man who fires back an answer the instant a question lands is a man reacting. That guy responds. There is a pause, brief, deliberate, that signals, I heard you fully, and I am going to give you a real answer. That pause alone commands more respect than most men earn in an entire conversation. His tone is lower, warmer, grounded, not performed, cultivated, through awareness, through practice, through the daily discipline of speaking like a man who means what he says. And when he has nothing to say, he says nothing. Silence does not make him reach for words to fill it. Silence for that guy is just another form of presence. The aura. This is the one that is hardest to define and the most powerful of all five. You have felt it before. You have been in the presence of a man, maybe once, maybe twice in your life, where something about being near him made you feel like you needed to be better. Not because he said anything, not because he judged you, just because of what he was. The way he occupied the world, the quality of his presence. That is aura. And here is the thing about aura that nobody tells you. You cannot build it directly. You cannot decide to have it tomorrow. You cannot perform it. The moment you try to perform aura, it disappears. What you get instead is a man who is trying too hard, and everyone feels the difference. Aura is a byproduct. It is the result of every other layer working together, over time, in private, with no audience. It is what happens when a man has invested in his body consistently, has sharpened his mind relentlessly, has built something real with his time, has held his standard when no one was watching, has become comfortable, genuinely, deeply comfortable, with exactly who he is. That comfort, that is what people feel. Not confidence as a performance, confidence as a settled fact. And the warmth, do not underestimate the warmth. That guy is not cold. He is not distant. He does not walk around with a wall up. He is warm, genuinely, effortlessly warm, because he has nothing to prove and nothing to protect. A man who needs nothing from the room can give everything to it, and that giving, that ease, is felt as something rare and magnetic in a world full of men who are performing and pretending and protecting. The aura is built in the dark, in the early mornings, in the private discipline, in the thousand moments nobody sees. And then one day, you walk into the room and something happens. The walk-in moment. Remember the two men from the beginning of this video. Let me tell you about the one the room felt. He walks in unhurried. His clothes fit, not expensive, intentional. There is something in the air when he enters, a scent, clean and distinct. His posture takes up the space he is entitled to, fully, without apology. He greets the people around him, and when he looks at you, he actually looks at you. Warm, direct, completely present. When someone speaks, he listens. No phone, no wandering gaze. He is there. When he speaks, the pace slows. There are no filler words. Every sentence carries weight. Every pause is intentional. When he has nothing to say, he says nothing. And somehow that silence says more than most men's words. And underneath all of that, a calm. A settled, genuine, unperformed calm. The calm of a man who has done the work, who knows who he is, who needs nothing from the room, and because he needs nothing, can give everything. That is the man who walked in and changed the energy. That is that guy. That is you in the process of becoming. Close and bridge. Invisible is not who you are. It is who you have been presenting. And that, starting today, is something you can change. One layer at a time. One standard at a time. One room at a time. Until the day you walk in and something shifts. Not because you demanded it. Not because you performed it. Because you built it. Now you know who that guy is. You know what he looks like. How he moves. What he sounds like. What you feel when you are standing next to him. The next video is about how he is built. Day by day. The daily standard that makes everything we have talked about in this playlist not just a vision, but a reality. Watch it now. The work continues. We are not done. Keep elevating. Remember the goal. Highest elevation of the self. If this showed you a man you want to become, send it to a man who needs to see the same thing.